What's up, you sweaty nerds and greasy degenerates? Ruan Mei has officially released in Honkai Star Rail, so it's time to take a look at where she has landed on the tier lists, and we'll also be taking a look at where Xueyi landed as well towards the end. So, let's get into this. Alright, let's see who we can piss off today by simply talking about the most well-respected tier list in the Honkai Star Rail community. We are here again at pridewin.gg taking a look at the Honkai Star Rail Memory of Chaos patch 1.5.1 tier list. Again, this is based on Memory of Chaos, or patch 1.5.1. This tier list will eventually change, because Memory of Chaos changes. Weaknesses changes, bosses change, all kinds of stuff changes. So this tier list will eventually change. There you go. It's been said. I don't know why I have to say this every single video, because apparently people can't open their ears and open their eyes to be able to see what's going on here. Anyways, let's talk about Ruan Mei, because that's why we're actually here. The Harmony Queen has arrived, okay? Your dad is in her DMs ruining your parents' relationship because she is so fine, and she is so fine for your account, okay? She is so good, okay? Instantly S+ tier. All right, instantly S+ tier, as many of us were suspecting. She is very, very good. Now, there's still the argument going around of whether she's better than Bronya or whether she's better than Tingyun. It really just depends on which DPS you are putting them behind. Tingyun is probably still better for, like, let's say Jing Liu. You really can't replace Jing Liu right now. Sorry, you can't really replace Tingyun right now for Jing Liu. It's just the energy and the buff, it's just too much, right? You can help keep Jing Liu in her enhanced buffed state with Jing Liu around. It's just kind of broken. So it really depends on who you're using. But Ruan Mei, instant S tier, instant S+ tier, I should be, to be exact. She's incredibly good. I've been testing her out a little bit. I can't fully test her because none of us can actually fully test her, because technically we can't get her traces all the way up until next week. What is it, like 4 days from now or something? Because we have to defeat the new boss enemy, and we're only allowed to do that 3 times a week. So we'll have to wait to be able to take her all the way up. But even at this particular moment, when she's not even fully leveled up on her traces, she's still performing incredibly well, and she's literally unlocking different metas within the game, such as allowing players to try zero sustain for the first time ever in the game's lifespan. Yes, of course, we could try zero sustain before. Zero sustain has been a thing for a very long time, but she's making it more viable and easier to be able to accomplish. She's also opened up dual DPS meta as well, allowing players to actually run 2 DPSs on the same team, and it can actually work out. It's not necessarily always the best option for you, but it does unlock that option to you without actually feeling too bad, because now you actually have the potential to run it. Now, yeah, that is with the notion that you're probably still going to be running no sustains on your team, but she's actually that good. So it's kind of funny that Ruan Mei sits here at the amplifier slot for, you know, best amplifier or one of the best amplifiers, when she actually could low-key be the best sustain in the game, because you can build her to be tanky, and she actually allows you to be able to sustain without a healer or tank in some cases. Trust me, I've tried this out already, and she literally makes zero sustain probably easier than just about any other character, unless you have a very niche team synergy that you already had going on before. Ruan Mei is cracked, okay? She's nuts, okay? The buffs that she's providing are insane, and she doesn't even really have to think about it if you have her built well enough. She's doing incredibly well, and she does deserve to be up here at S+ tier without a doubt in my mind. She deserves to be up here at S+ tier. She is one of the new Harmony Queens. I still can't say whether she's going to be the best Harmony character in the game right now. I personally need a little bit more time to test her out to be able to properly gauge, in my opinion, who's better, Bronya, you know, Ruan Mei or Tingyun. I personally have been a Tingyun enthusiast since day one. That's partly because she's one of the first characters I ever got in the game, and I instantly knew she was good, and I just kept riding her the whole time. Giggity. But she's literally such a good character. She gives you energy, she gives you buffs, and they last a really long time. She's incredible. She can keep a permanent skill buff on your DPS and turn into a skill point engine as well. She's a skill point generator, she's an energy generator, she's insane. Ruan Mei, I think we need a little bit more time to say definitively whether Ruan Mei is actually better than a Bronya or a Tingyun. Now, of course, every team is different. That's something people need to remember. Every team is different, and so you might need something to kind of be able to like sort of make up for that. For example, I actually run my Jingliu sometimes with an Asta because my Jingliu has really good crit damage, but her speed is a little bit on the slower side. But if I can keep a permanent speed buff on my Jingliu through Asta, that problem immediately goes away. So it really just depends on your team, how you can synergize a really powerful setup. So just something to keep in mind. In some cases, a Bronya might be better for you. In some cases, a Ruan Mei might be better for you. And in some cases, a Tingyun might be better for you. For example, I still think that Tingyun is better for Jingliu than any other support in the game right now, because Tingyun can literally just keep Jingliu in her buffed state. That's incredibly powerful, while also keeping her buffed through her own buffs as well. But Jingliu has a special buffed state of her own as well, and if you can keep using her ultimate often enough while she's already in the state, she can maintain that state and not leave the buffed state. If she defeats enough enemies as well, gains enough energy, she can also do that. Tingyun helps you get to that point, and there's no other character that does it as well as Tingyun. So it really just depends on what you're using. But as an overall average right now, it's pretty obvious that Ruan Mei is up there, and she might actually potentially be better than Bronya or Tingyun, depending on your situation. I'm not going to make a definitive yes or no who's better in the Harmony slot right now. I'm still going to do some more testing, and I'll put out a video eventually on who I think is the best Harmony character in the game. Currently, between Tingyun and Bronya, this might be a hot take. I actually think it's Tingyun. I think that the skill point efficiency and the energy provided while also giving you massive buffs, I think Tingyun's just the best Harmony character in the game. I think there are some scenarios where Bronya can be better, but I think on average, overall, throughout, if you spread the whole entire game, Tingyun is better in many slots over a Bronya. Because of what Tingyun's able to basically do and how skill point efficient Tingyun's able to be, you can actually spam skills with Bronya that makes Bronya better. And that's the same thing for Ruan Mei. Like, if you wanted to get Ruan Mei's ultimate sooner, you can actually use a skill point early, because Tingyun allows you to be able to do that, because Tingyun is so skill point efficient. And vice versa, by the way. I sometimes use a skill early with the character in order to get the ultimate ready to go. And with Tingyun, you can just give energy to your Jingliu in some cases and keep her in a buff state by simply using a skill early. So, something to think about there. Really quickly, before we conclude this, I might make a separate video for this, but I may not. So I just wanted to talk about this really quick. Xueyi's placement on the tier list. So at single target, she remains here at A tier. At blast damage, she remains here at A tier. And for AoE, she falls down to B tier. And she has a new icon here that I wanted to point out to everybody. Where is it? It's called Breaker. She is a breaker, a character who specializes in doing break damage, so you need to pair them against enemies with matching weakness to use them to their full potential. If you don't, their rating can be decreased by a single tier. Something I think they are not valuing here is that Xueyi's ultimate does not care about enemy weakness. However, she is typically still built as a breaker DPS. So because of that, it is true that if you don't pair her against enemies that have the right weakness, she won't be as good. It is actually true, but there is value in the fact that her ultimate can just smash through enemy weakness regardless of what it is. And I think that's not necessarily being factored in here. I don't think that necessarily means that her placement should be like higher. Like, I don't necessarily think she should be S tier, but I just wanted to point out where she is on the tier list. I have not properly built my Xueyi quite yet because I've been busy with the holidays. By the way, happy holidays, everybody. Hope you've been having a good one. But I haven't been able to properly test her yet. I just wanted to show you guys where she's landed here at A tier, which I kind of expected, to be honest. We already have every other quantum character sitting at either S tier or S+. I just want everybody to understand that. You see these two slots right here? Forget that A tier, B tier, or C tier even exists. Up to this point, if they're quantum, they're up here, no matter what. Either S+, S+, SS, or S. Xueyi is the first quantum character that hasn't made it up here to the S or S+ category, and I kind of expected this. I mean, talk about power creep, right? If every quantum character is supposed to be S or S+, that's kind of unfair. So I was kind of expecting this, but I'm not going to lie, I'm a little disappointed because Xueyi has been hinted at a playable character since literally 1.0. Since we first opened up the game, Xueyi has been a potential playable character. They took over 6 patches to give this to, well, they took 6 patches exactly to give this to us, and she ended up landing at A tier, which isn't bad. This is actually pretty good. She's just, I mean, look at Kafka, right? A tier, A tier, and A tier. She falls barely behind a character like Kafka or Blade. Now, I think that just because she's on the same tier doesn't mean she's as good. I still think Kafka and Blade are better, but we'll just have to wait and see where things go for Xueyi. Maybe we can make some crazy crack teams with her regardless, and maybe her viability will go up once we realize more about her, just like it happened for QQ. QQ was not sitting up here at S tier for a very long time. It took people a long time to realize how good QQ is before she eventually, rose up, I guess you could say. Anyways, if you found this video helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.